Welcome to the Steve Wilmot Show with Neshaminy Redskins head coach Steve Wilmot. I am Sean Lerman. As the Redskins are getting set for one of their toughest matchups of the season, at least on paper, Neshaminy coming off of a 21-0 win against Abington last Friday. This Friday, the Redskins take on Central Bucks South and the Titans, who enter play at 5-1 on the season. You can catch the Trentonian pregame show beginning at 6:45 p.m. on WBCB1490.com and watch the entire game video stream live on our website or on the big screen at Sandy's Beef and Ale. Today's show, as always, brought to you by Aria Health and Faulkner Buick GMC Cadillac. So, Coach, we're a little bit later in the week this time than we usually do the show. How's the week of practice going?
It's going well. We're trying to get ready for a good team. Central Bucks South is a very complete team. They have a strong defense. They have a pretty solid offense. And we're going to, have to play a very good game to win.
Yeah, this is a Central Bucks South team, 5-1 on the season. Certainly one of the better records out of teams you've faced so far. We'll talk about them in our second segment here. Let's start, though, by talking about Neshaminy, what you guys have been able to do. And one thing that I wanted to talk about is Ole Manzik, and not just for his ability on the football field. We know that he's had an amazing season, 500 receiving yards, 7 touchdowns, leads the team in tackles. But Ole at times has been a little bit banged up this season, but he's found ways to play, to be able to contribute in any way that he's been able to. Just talk about his and really the rest of this team's toughness.
I've said this before. Ole is a very natural football player. He's a hard worker. He sprained his ankle 2 weeks ago. It was a low ankle sprain. It wasn't one of those high pesky ankle sprains, but it was a low ankle sprain, and it was sore the whole week leading up to playing Abington. He was walking in a boot all week, and he couldn't really practice our defense. But it continued to improve throughout the whole week, and since they weren't going to use him on defense, I wasn't going to let him go to waste. Our trainer got the swelling down low enough where he was able to run. So again, he didn't know exactly our defense that week because he wasn't practicing it, but he knows our offense, and we got him in there, and he continued to do his Ole magic on offense.
Absolutely, and so with him not really being in there on defense, what did you think how did the linebacking core do, in your opinion, in that game against Abington?
They did good. Actually, the person who came in for him, his name is John Hughes. He won our Defensive Player of the Week. And that's done on a point system, based on tackles and a whole bunch of criteria. So the guy who came in for him won Defensive Player of the Week. So that's a really good example of what good teams do. One player goes down, another talented kid steps up.
At this point, Coach, we're about 6 games into this. Or we are 6 games into the season. We're past the halfway point. It seems like a good opportunity to kind of reflect on those first few weeks. And how do you think this team has grown from that first game of the season against Roman Catholic to now at this point getting ready for a game against Central Bucks South?
I think that we've established a firm identity on offense. It was pretty much the identity that I dreamt of during the off season, doing our run-pass option offense. We've had games. This is the first year in my 22 years that Neshamany's ever run the inside zone, and there's some times this year that we've run that play effectively. Mason, we knew, was going to be able to handle the ball well in this offense and make good decisions, and he has. And we knew we had guys that could catch the ball, in space, and they have. So our offense is kind of right where I thought we'd be. Defensively, I think we've grown a lot. I think it really showed this past week. We knew we'd have some defensive linemen growing into their positions, through trial and error. If you will. We knew there were going to be some mistakes earlier in the year, and it takes a little bit of while. It takes a little time to get those techniques down, but I think they're finally starting to get them. And same true with our linebackers. Ole Manzik had experience last year. He was probably the only one that got any type of varsity experience last year. And those guys have seen 6 different style offenses, some similar, but every week they're presented with different jobs and different scenarios, and the more experience they get, the better that they're going to be able to react to those different things that happen on the football field.
All right, Coach, we're going to step aside, take a quick break. This is the Steve Wilmot Show. The Neshaminy Redskins head coach Steve Wilmot. I'm Sean Lerman. Brought to you by Aria Health and Faulkner Buick GMC Cadillac. We'll be back to preview the game against Central Bucks South right after.
ER Express is the newest online reservation system for patients in Bucks County with non-life-threatening illnesses or conditions to reserve a time online to be treated at Aria's Fast Care, Urgent Care, or emergency departments. ER Express streamlines evaluations so patients are treated more quickly, and best of all, it holds your reservation while you're in the comfort of your own home. Please remember, patients who experience major injuries and traumas should always go immediately to the emergency department. Reserve your spot online now with ER Express. Visit ariahealth.org/ER-Express. That's ariahealth.org/ER-Express.
Sandy's Beef and Ale has been serving famous hand-carved roast beef sandwiches since 1967. Sandy's Beef and Ale is located in the Woodburn Square Shopping Center next to the Oxford Valley Mall. Stop in anytime for not only the roast beef sandwiches, but also the patty, the tailgater, and the Cuban. Family and friends have been coming to Sandy's Beef and Ale since 1967. 2028 Old Lincoln Highway, the home of the hand-carved sandwich.
If you are looking for a new car, where do you go? Faulkner Auto Group at 4427 Street Road in Trevose is where to go. For the best deals in Bucks County for all of your new or pre-owned cars, trucks, or SUVs, go to Faulkner Auto Group. It is always Faulkner to be sure. You can also always go to www.faulknerautogroup.com. Just remember, this year it's Faulkner Auto Group for your new car or truck. 4427 Street Road in Trevose to be sure. Faulkner Auto Group, 215-364-7720. Faulkner Auto Group, a proud supporter of Neshaminy High School football.
Welcome back to the Steve Wilmot Show with Neshaminy Redskins head coach Steve Wilmot. I'm Sean Lerman. Today's show brought to you by Aria Health and Faulkner Buick GMC Cadillac as the Redskins get set for a Friday night matchup at home at Heartbreak Ridge against Tom Hetrick's CB South Titans. Should be a good one on Friday night. You can watch it live, WBCB1490.com, or over at Sandy's Beef and Ale on the big screen TV at Sandy's. And, Coach, this is certainly one of the biggest tests that you guys will face this season. We'll talk about their offense first. They're a talented team. They've already put up some big numbers on the season. What do you expect to see out of their offense?
They have 2 different quarterbacks. They have a passing quarterback. They have a throwing quarterback. They have a really talented player. I can't pin him down to one position because he plays many. His last name's Watson. He's a good football player. He's fast. There was one instance where he just ran away from the whole North Penn defense. And they really want to get him the ball. So, be on the lookout for number 17. I know we will be, to put it in those terms. Offensive line-wise, they're big. They're good. They have a nice, solid offense. They kind of do something similar to what we do as far as the spread run-pass option, where the quarterback, has a couple different options on one play. They do a nice job. Do you want to hear about defense or no?
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about their defense a little bit.
Here we go. Their defense, they run like a 4-2-5 scheme. I think their defensive line is tough. They're a little bit larger than what we've seen. Maybe formidable to Abington as far as size. And then they have 2 solid inside linebackers who are brothers. And they do a nice job. So they kind of plug those 6 kids into the run game, and then they have those 5 defensive backs in the back to kind of take away the pass game. So yeah, they've done a nice job with the guys they have. They have some very talented guys.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned those 2 brothers, the Norris brothers. Between the 2 of them, have 19 tackles for a loss on the season, 5 sacks between the 2 of them in 6 games played. So this is certainly going to be a challenge for the Neshaminy offense to really do what it's been doing all season against this CB South team. And just overall, this is a team in CB South that, they're 5-1. That one loss you mentioned, the North Penn game that they played last week. We know that North Penn's one of the stronger teams in the area, so this is one of those teams that you probably look at as, they're 5-1, but that one loss might not mean all that much to the rest of their record.
Yeah, we've watched most of the games, and they're solid against all their opponents. We're gonna have to really have our A game on. There's no way around that.
All right, Coach, thank you very much for your time today. This has been the Steve Wilmot Show with the Neshaminy Redskins head coach Steve Wilmot. I'm Sean Lerman. Today's show brought to you by Aria Health and Faulkner Buick GMC Cadillac. Remember to watch this game live, 6:45 p.m. We go live with the Trentonian pregame show on WBCB1490.com/TV, or head on out to Sandy's Beef and Ale in the Woodburn Square Shopping Center and watch the game on the big screen TV. All right, thanks, Coach. Have a good one.
No problem. You too.